Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, media darling Two Birds Productions takes on a new project in Patillas, Puerto Rico. To tell us why, Two Birds director Mr. Dunbar from Patillas appearing on this program for the second time. Welcome back, old friend.
Well, thank you for having me, Charlie.
Tell us about your new project, this Cuentos de Patillas.
Cuentos de Patillas.
Which means?
Stories of Patillas. Its district on the southeast coast of Puerto Rico.
And what sort of stories are they?
A battle over water. The upcoming part of Cuentos deals with the watershed and land issues of the Patillas Valley. It's a fictionalized narrative, though.
The LA Times described the upcoming La Cuenca as, quote, so relentlessly border town you don't want to be there. Comments?
Whoa. I haven't even written it yet.
So you're unprepared.
Rusty.
Forest ranger in the fabled Icaco Valley. I've got to ask, is he real? I mean in the flesh.
Yes.
And when did you last speak with him?
Recently.
And you discussed?
We discussed a collaboration. Remember, he's a part of Patillas too. He's learned to navigate in Zone 7. He speaks for himself now. He's earned the right to have his say. I welcome it. We all should. He's shrewd. Funny as hell.
But he's not real.
Charlie, he's as real as you and me. Remember, we're all just pixels on a screen. Maybe more real. Rumor has it he has an off-screen life.
Fair enough.
1, 2, 3.
20 seconds and counting.
Is it?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Coburn.
Good evening.
Please don't touch the microphone. Just act naturally now.
Good evening.
Once again, please. Two Birds. Not just another media company, more a way of life. Am I right about that?
Exactly. Test.
So,
check.
could you remove the hat, please?
The hat?
We're on countdown.
He looks kind of like you, Charlie.
You were about to show us a clip.
This is me in episode 76, I think, playing the dreadful Dick Cheney, the ultimate bad guy in the Two Birds cosmology.
Why Cheney?
Well, sometimes you just have to fight back.
Está sacado el grano. Ahora se va a recoger. Está echado.
This is from the Retratos. This is a Spanish production.
So you're talking locally, in this case, people from Patillas.
It has to be people from Patillas or it doesn't work.
Uh-huh.
This is from the Mango Harvest, the latest, greatest of cuentos.
Mango. A metaphor?
No.
Help me here. Something doesn't square. Is this for the market? YouTube or something?
This was way before YouTube.
And what about the big bucks at the end of the rainbow?
Look, Zone 7, Zone 8, they're not givens. Mango's the first thing I've shot with 1 foot in Zone 8.
I've got to ask, why Puerto Rico? Why not New York or Shanghai or Panama? Puerto Rico, it seems the worst of all worlds to me.
Why Puerto Rico? There is no reason. Why anywhere? Puerto Rico is nothing but problems. I'm not looking for paradise.
And now, a closer look at the Two Birds universe with 2 experts on the subject, New York media critic David Dentley, and from the Icaco Valley in Puerto Rico, forest ranger Rusty Coburn. I welcome you both.
Pleasure to be here. Good evening. Nice to be with you, Charlie.
Mr. Dentley, your take.
Well, frankly, I
I find his history faulty, and his scholarship, where all the threads are drawn together and meaning is illuminated, pedestrian. Uh-oh. Oh, I see what he's trying to do. Gather all the threads from the extinctions of Zone 4 to the autonomous zone, all the threads from the human race series, and give it an epic impetus. Now, am I convinced? We see elements that remind us of Borges. We see traces of the magic of Marquez, lacking the imaginative power of either. Well, I find that the camera work sloppy.
I'd have to agree.
Distractingly so.
I'd gladly turn that over to somebody else.
Is that a concrete proposal?
It is. I'm looking for people. Partners.
I wish you luck with La Cuenca. I saw the mango piece. 20 minutes to harvest mangoes, not my... I need more of a story for 20 minutes. Well, let me begin with you, Rusty. You're working in Puerto Rico, know the situation on the ground. Any comments on what we've heard?
The challenge is to develop a better model of land use based on the bioregion, on the health of the watershed. Take water. Limited in availability, uneven in distribution, and everybody needs it. You got 20,000 people in Patillas, 150,000 people in Guayama. It requires a collective approach. So, you're drawn willy-nilly into land use issues, politics, power, values. Traditional culture moves too slow for all that. You need new models, adaptive. The higher slopes, steep, erosion-prone, I'd leave them alone. Their highest value is to the watershed. The abandoned slopes that have already been cleared, I'd plant with avocados and mangoes. And towards what end? Contribution to the community, inherent value, down the line. Erosion control doesn't preclude intercropping or introducing animals even. Holds the land. And then you covenant out the land, 1 house per 100 trees, whatever. But they don't own the trees. I've seen the retrato piece of the director here. These people aren't poor. These people are rich. I'd trade places with them today, asset for asset. But really what I see is they got no plan. Can I say something here? Please do. It seems clear that the owners of the land will sell for more money. They always do. You can't dream that away. Model schmodel. It's capitalism 101. If the current owners of the land can't organize a better future, they get what they deserve in capitalistic terms, and that's the rules of the game. It seems rough, but capitalism isn't for sissies. Jesus, listen to this. It's enough to make you want to go carve out a nice little niche in the border towns and let humanity go to hell in its own way. So, worst case scenario, they sell out for money. A lot of money. As problems go, could be worse. You spend a lot of time in the jungles of Puerto Rico, huh? Jesus. Just answer the question. How many trees have you planted? How much time have you spent out in the field? Have you ever even been here? Oh, dry up. You know nothing about me. You didn't answer the question. What do you know about land use in Patillas? Well, some people say they lived quite well on their own 100 years ago. Yeah, working for somebody else, some rich dueño like they've been doing for hundreds of years. No wonder there's the trash and the alcohol and the whole frenetic thing. Yeah.
It's easy to admire the good old days from a safe distance. People I talk to who were there say it was work, work, work. Try it sometime. You won't like it.
Well, I think that any serious student of Puerto Rican history recognizes this victim theme. Blame somebody else. The government, young people, rich, greedy, the United States.
It's not a culture I find easy to embrace. On the other hand, I have great loves here. This is where I choose to live, and I could live anywhere.
The Puerto Rican character as shaped by history, essentially an apocalyptic worldview. Think hurricanes, think European conquest. It has the pernicious side effect. It makes doing nothing easier.
Charlie, I got a question for one of your guests, the director. You wanted me out of the Human Race series. Why?
Rusty, just for the record, what I said in episode 81 was, where we're going, you can't follow. I'll stand by that. You, as you are, alone, you never survive in Zone 8.
Yeah, that's what they said about Zone 7, amigo.
Never.
Oh, I know. You got all the slick arguments. That doesn't make you right.
But we can work on that together.
I hate to interrupt this love fest. Pardon me for spoiling the mood, but reality check.
Mr. Dentley.
Some unpleasant truths. Two Birds Productions. No money, no audience, no partners, no contracts, no equipment. Why are we even here?
Ooh, touché.
If you can't figure out a way to monetize this thing, then it's just another tree falling in the digital forest. Absolutely nothing has taken place. Postmodern come post-mortem. Narcissism, the occupational hazard of the dedicated videographer. Listen, Nietzsche was right. The wars of the 21st century will be wars of value. If Two Birds Productions has a place in the arena...
Jesus, a whole bunch of you give me a bellyache.
Hold on there. You're the least real of us all.
Somebody has to be out there working, clearing,
That's not what I was saying.
side by side. Is that you?
No.
Or you?
Well, that's not the point.
Is that going to be you?
Whoa, wait. I was there.
Oh, yeah. On your terms, with your hot chicks and your cold drinks and your air conditioning.
A good time on the set, I like to call it.
No, you wait a minute, because you're all just joking around here, trying to create an impression, but there's people's livelihoods at stake, the health of an ecosystem.
Meaning,
We should learn something from the extinctions of Zone 4, and we should learn it pronto.
you know something about the Zone 4 extinctions?
Yeah, the change coming so fast now that only the quick to adapt will survive.
Problem is, he's the only ecologist of us all.
Land use. At least what he said, the director, that's interesting. The rest of this is just bullshit.
As you know, in episode 81, you were left behind, consigned to, quote, a nuclear winter of his own making. Comments?
Oh, yeah, I know.
With all due respect, you talk about different versions of reality as if this were something you just make up. I beg to differ.
And the goal.
Creating a group intelligence, developing a project telling the story of a watershed, Cuentos de Patillas, taking responsibility for a bioregion, all of the above.
Oh, come on. Let's take off the gloves and face the facts. A media company with no money, no partners, no equipment, no audience.
Can you turn that thing off?
If this is physiological theater, let's hope it's not infectious.
Turn it off! Anything to add to that, Mr. Director?
Ultimately, in Patillas, I'd like a school of video production with a base large enough to support some agriculture. There might even be a place for you, Rusty.
That chance.
If you promise to behave.
Our critic.
I have a question for both Mr. Dunbar and Rusty.
You call him Mr. You call me Rusty.
You got contempt for the working man. Oh, dry up. We're all working men.
You know what I mean. Hard, physical work. You look down on it.
You know nothing about me.
And vice versa. My point exactly, this whole media thing, you all just bring me here to score points on.
Au contraire, I'm exploring the issues.
You know, you got a mean streak I don't like.
Okay, here we go.
Rusty is an increasingly autonomous entity.
Yeah, of course. All right, that's it. If nobody's listening, then it's back to the valley where at least the dirt and the sweat are real.
Get the hook.
Cool down. Look, I don't know how to get past these slicksters, except by appealing directly to you.
Charlie, shut him up.
You wouldn't last 1 week where I live.
Oh?
Yeah, you're full of shit. Pull it back in, please, Mr. Coburn. We like Wild here, but this is a public broadcast.
He smells like beer and rum.
From 2,000 miles away, how can you tell?
Believe me, I can. Look, this guy isn't any more an expert in agroforestry and the environment than the other is the director of a functioning media company. Or that I am a fireman.
Ha! Fireman, you wish.
Perhaps so, but that's another program.
No, I'm out of here. I'm sorry, Charlie. Thank you for hosting.
Good riddance, Mr. Coburn.
Please, wait. You can't
And we're almost out of time. Last words from the director.
A good story, well told, is still the Holy Grail, the highest peak. That's what we're aiming for in La Cuenca.
And from the critic.
Scraps? Yes, scraps are great, but they're still just scraps. Is there a big picture in the works? This is the question. Or just more hot air?
Visit twobirdsproductions.com for the Cuentos de Patillas series and upcoming episodes of La Cuenca. I'd like to thank our guests. Next up, North Korea and the bomb. Stay with us.